Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. Where am I? When I woke up this morning, my parents were yelling at me to get out of bed and get ready for school. I look around this room, it certainly did not look like school to me, or my bedroom for that matter. So, forgive me a moment while I close my eyes and try to think back about what happened between that morning and this moment. It feels as if my almost 40 years on this earth have simply flown by. What an interesting journey. Well, at one point, there is no way I would have ever seen myself voluntarily standing in front of this room giving this speech. Or the first of many speeches on who knows what topic. It's funny, just a few years ago, my mother was cleaning out some old storage boxes and found quite a few of my old report cards. I don't even remember how bad they were. It certainly wasn't an opportunity to problem. My daughter thought it was fun to look at them and laugh. Even at 10 years old, she could recognize she had already received more A's in her 3.5 years of being graded on the ABC scale than I had in my entire 17.5 years of school combined. They were, however, the catalyst for an afternoon of reminiscing. Ironic, if I had my way, these would never again see the light of day. As a matter of fact, my grades looked as black to her white as the spectrum can offer. Although contrary to my seemingly failed education experience, I'm able to look up from my desk at work and see my Bachelor of Science degree from Cal State University on the wall. I begin to think about how my life experience has made me who I am and hopefully who I'll continue to be. My second 13 years begins as I'm entering manhood with my bar mitzvah. This year, a promise that was made to me many, many years before was fulfilled. My grandparents were taking me for 2 weeks as bar mitzvah gift to Israel. What a memorable time, and one that would make it easier to lead me back to Israel for 2 months while I was in high school on a high school program, where I would learn much more than I could have ever hoped to have learned at home. I learned more about my history, myself, and my lifelong friends. By the way, rebellion number 1 came along. Very early on in the trip, I might add, so that I had plenty of time to enjoy it before I got home. In the mid-1980s, I was also afforded the opportunity to spend 1 month in Europe with my family while my grandfather was working with the United Nations in Vienna, Austria. I also succeeded in places where many educators assumed and expressed the same to my parents that I wouldn't. I graduated from high school, and I earned that bachelor's degree that's hanging on the wall. And I think this is one of those, would you like a fork and knife, those words with moments you find so often in life. I was now a college graduate, and soon thereafter I was engaged with my beautiful girlfriend. I enjoyed a great circle of friends and faced a wide open future. Michelle and I were married in November of 1994, and we chose to have our wedding and our reception on the Bay Lake cruise ship in the Baltimore Inner Harbor, creating a memorable moment for everybody. As the third 13-year period begins in my life, my family went through a difficult event. My father, who had retired only a few years prior from the D.C. Police Department, was diagnosed with and lost his battle with pancreatic and liver cancer. This began on January 11th and ended on June 27, 1996. I do believe that was the shortest and longest 5.5-month period of my entire life. Although dim and difficult at times, it was also discouraging. Things were getting better. Strained family relationships found new life, proving really, truly how silly, stupid things are. I found my professional career path in information technology. Michelle and I bought our first home in Baltimore, and I realized new hobbies that I had and talents that I had as well in home improvement, do-it-yourself, and home theater. Our daughter Lindsay was born on December 21st, 1999. We were doing well. All of that was about to change. You see, in early 2003, after spending 8 hours shoveling 36 inches of snow just to walk the end of my driveway, we decided that we would bid farewell to our lifelong home in Maryland and move to sunny Florida. As we announced it to our families, they all seemed to breathe a collective sigh of relief because they were all on board about the spread between Daytona and San Although things have been difficult, I suspect will never be easy. We've not looked back on this move. We've been prosperous, struggling, broke, yet we still somehow go on. Even through illness, we try to find positives to build upon. My wife was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2006. We reached out to join the local chapter of the National MS Society to volunteer where we can. Lindsay is exceeding any parent's expectations. We could not be prouder. This year marks my 40th and the beginning of the next 13-year period of my life. I've begun writing, and obviously, I'm speaking.